All right, friends, welcome, welcome. Love your biome total gut detox. I'm so excited about this program because I have seen it, I have felt it. It changed my life. This has been a new exploration of going deeper and really changing things. And I just learned it's all about the mucoid plaque. You get that mucoid plaque out, and then you can kill parasites and because the plaque is the home to parasites, and then you can just really stop that cycle. And even though we can get them again at any time, we just assume we have them. We should clean up from them a couple times of the year at minimum. And then if there's any health issues going on, cleaning the terrain is my first go-to now because it just simplifies everything. It's mostly from what we eat. But anything can kind of start that process of fermentation, of acidity. And so to be in check with, the alkaline forming foods on the regular and eating, watery fruits and cleansing foods on the regular, just to kind of help break even with all the other stuff. And so on that note, I'm going to share my screen with the guide that I made. And I'm not going to go over the guide. What I put in the guide was everything that I've been asked a lot for people have asked me a lot to make a guide that has all my nutrition information that I've been learning since I've been studying the regenerative healing work because it's very different. And so I talk about the protein myth and I talk about the sugar myth, and I'm sure you've all read it by now. Um, or you will. You can. There's just a lot of information that I just want to share. Don't get overwhelmed. It's baby steps. If you're not there yet, just whatever resonates, start somewhere because there's no perfect formula and we all are different. But the reason that I add that in is humans are frugivores. And while I don't tell people what to eat unless they pay me for that information, because I am a holistic nutritionist, a regenerative nutritionist, I am always reminding people what a diet looks like over a period of cleansing. So whether you're just doing a cleansing to clean things up, or you're literally doing it to reverse a health issue, meat, dairy, and eggs is never going to cleanse us. It's never going to put us into a cleansing state. We cleanse and we heal, so it'll never put us in a healing state. We cleanse and we heal with angstroms of light energy. So the more light that we can bring in, the more healing will happen. And the highest vibrations of angstroms of light energy are the fruit. Vegetables are the second. So you can read by guide and you can just take in however much lands. This is so just your journey. And I just want to be a guide in whatever way, however much you want to take in, however ready you are, however deep you want to go. You know, the work is there, but you don't have to go that deep. We all start somewhere. And if this is the first time you've done anything like this before, ask a lot of questions, be held, be in the group. That's what the group is for. I want to be there for you as much as you need it. And I want to set you up with as much information as you want to take in without being overwhelmed. And so I kind of just want to jump ahead to the instruction portion of it. But I love this. I do stuff in Canva and I couldn't even replace it. I was trying to like fix it. And so I'm not even 100% sure that this is my fixed one because I couldn't find this function again to make it this cool flippable one. If it's not, I'll take you to the other option because I will know I did add some things to the um, actual schedule that I had forgotten. It's such a process to put all this together. So, there are frequently asked questions. People, have heard so many things. Detoxing is such a trend. And truly, the reason that I'm doing what I'm doing is because I started helping people detox about 20 years ago. And right around that time, my sister and I had a friend who literally died. She was going through something. She didn't want to go to doctors. She knew it was something big. And she followed some juice fast online. And she came to us like a week into this juice fast and was just like, I don't know what's wrong. I think I'm dying. I'm going to see if I can, oops, that magnifies. I want to try to, I was trying to just jump ahead to that page instead of having to flip through them all. Sorry, but I can chat on the way. Um, yeah, she she died. She came and she told us about her the juice fast and how she wasn't feeling better. And so we started to research for her because I hadn't ever done a juice fast before. I was just starting to learn about how to guide people through detoxes, and I wasn't really there yet. I was just formulating them and I was just experimenting. So we didn't know what to tell her. We were surprised as she was. And then what I learned is that it can be very unsafe if you're sequestering all these toxins and you're getting the body in flushing mode, and either it can't flush because it's too sticky, or the liver detox pathway's not open, or the kidneys aren't filtering and we're not moving lymphatic waste through the kidneys in the bowels and the urine. And so we're trying to move all these toxins. They can't get out of the body. They basically relodge somewhere else and make you sick a second time around, causing toxemia, making you feel terrible. And so I went through like a lot of lessons while I was learning all these things and trying to figure it out. There were a lot of lessons. I'm going to see if I can make this part a little bit bigger. Wow, it just gets huge. It doesn't just go like one step bigger. Okay, I'm gonna just do it this way. Okay, that works. Sweet. Two fingers on the whatchamacallit. Okay, um so yeah, it's been this huge learning of how to detox safely. That became my biggest goal, to help people detox safely, because after that I started to hear horror stories about people dying or people getting way sicker. I mean, it's a thing. And so I got really scared. I stopped doing it for a while. And then I just decided, if this is how we heal, I have to learn how to do this safely for myself and my clients and my family members, and mostly myself, right? That's how we learn the most. I think we're all in the healing field because we are healing ourselves, if we are in the healing field, because we that's where you start, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I totally figured some stuff out, and you just want to share that with others, friends that are going through the same thing, or family members, or whatever. We want to share. That's what we do. We want to connect. We want to share things that work. And so it's been, I for a long time I've been finding things that work and then finding things that don't work and shifting it. Luckily, I muscle test and I can actually even shift things for individual people. But this is kind of the first time that I have found something that I mean, it's mostly working for everyone because everyone has mucoid plaque. All the all the food that you've eaten in your whole life that didn't digest, that hardened on the colon walls as it was trying to move out, and your system was too sludgy and it couldn't move it out fast enough, so it just kind of gets stuck there. And so after releasing my own mucoid plaque for the first time in my life after dealing with ulcerative colitis for 30 years and having flare-ups, every few months until I started doing this regenerative healing work starting 3 years ago. I did go raw vegan. Not everyone has to do that, but I do believe it is a big piece for of healing if you are trying to heal autoimmune cancer, something really chronic and something really major. If your gut won't heal, even just a short time to, get to a place where you can heal leaky gut and rebuild you have to have, our stomach has to be acidic. That's like the only place that we're acidic. And so we need to be acidic there. That's how we have that firing of digestion happen and all those processes happen. And so alkaline water is actually really terrible and it destroys the gut lining. And it's one of the worst things we're finding for changing that pH in that whole digestive tract. And so, that's just something I'm going to throw in there again. It's almost like we can't hear these things enough, while because we've been brainwashed by the industries that want to sell us things. And lots of trends, lots of trends out there trying to sell certain things that just aren't what they say they are. And in fact, Kangen was trying to make molecular hydrogen and they made alkaline water by mistake. And they were just like, well, they couldn't get the electrolysis to work right and they couldn't stop the pH from changing. And so they just went with it. And even though it's helping, all the doctor's offices in Japan and maybe a lot of people here, I'm learning that alkaline water is one of the worst waters. Because it changes that pH in our gut lining and most people's digestion are shut down. Most people have leaky gut and are on that continuum somewhere of autoimmune, something that's, autoimmune or turning into autoimmune and left unchecked that methylation highway that is the autoimmune highway, it turns into cancer left unchecked for years and years. I mean, depending on how bad you eat and products you use. Like there's so many pieces. And so not only am I like just wanting to help people just get right to it, like no more messing around. We're going to just get right to it, do this safe procedure. But to keep it, there's a lot of that's why the guide, the long-term steps where we can try to keep our gut and our system, our inner ecosystem as clean as possible. So we don't ever have to clean things up to the level which we are having to now. Like I feel like it would take 20 years to get the mucoid plaque to the level of that we have it now. You know what I mean? But if you clean it now, maybe you clean it once a year and it's like hardly anything that's really hardening on there and you can kind of help keep it gone because when it's gone, we absorb the nutrients. Our microvilli comes back to life. It's not just suffocated by the mucus from the foods that we're eating. We're really, cutting all that stuff out, even just for a short period of time. We have seen that so much magic can happen in a short period of time. So, um, I'm going to just go over the schedule for phase one and phase two, and then I'm going to stop the share and we can just ask questions and just talk about it all and get on the same page. And at the same time, none of us are going to be on the same page. We're all getting products at different times and we're all going to start at different times. And it's perfect. And we can just connect with each other on the group and ask questions there. I'm going to be, checking in with the group, answering all the questions. Um, and then, you know, round two, maybe those who have done it before will help the next round of people with the wisdom that they learned, because you learn so much about your body when you're simplifying things. You're getting all these answers, and you can hear things more clearly, and you can like really start to see like what's causing inflammation, what's causing pain, because of course bringing those things back in at the end, we can do that more mindfully. We can food combine. That first one that I sent you, I forgot to put in all the food combining information, and it's huge. That's one of the things that helped me the most when I was, especially when I was in a flare up, but it would even help me not be in a flare up if I could just be really mindful of how I combined things. And so you just get less inflammation, less gas and bloating. It's just you start to see how effective it is. I think this is the old schedule. It's pretty much the same. It's pretty much the same. I'm gonna put the other one on because I did change. Let's see, where am I? Wait, don't take my water. I'm gonna drink it really quick. I'll drink it right now. I'm gonna slam my molecular hydrogen water so my daughter can take it. Oh my gosh, I have so many tabs open. Life is crazy in the Canva world. My most current version, I probably could have just gone to the email, but okay. Oh, good. I can just go ahead easily. Lots of recipes. Some of my favorite, all detox friendly. Eating raw, vegan, super healthy, detox friendly foods can be easy with a little prep. I like detoxing because you're taking a break from food and it's all just simple, and you're like, wow, I have so much time on my hands. Oh, I want to look at this. Um, yeah, breath work, body brushing, rebounder, movement grounding, nature fresh air, enemas, lymph massage, dry skin body brushing. Oops, that's on there twice. Gua sha tool, wooden lymph body paddles, fascia blaster tools, aerobic exercise, hit rebounding. Again, red light therapy, vibration plate, castor oil packs, deep breathing, a hydration, sauna, sun, movement. All of those things really, really help move the lymph, help aid in detoxing, baths. Baths really help. I like to do like scrubs in baths. Get a loofah, do a castor oil pack. So here's some steps to ideally have taken by the time you start detoxing. Sorry if you can hear my dogs. No animal products or processed foods, sugars, ideally beans and legumes and grains. Just really starting to help the digestive organs take a break. and and in that process of taking a break, you're still eating fruits and vegetables, um ideally letting easy on the nuts and seeds. They're very hard to digest. That is not the answer for getting more protein when you're, vegetarian or vegan, even for a short time. We get So all we need are amino acids, not proteins, and all vegetables make amino acids. And so um, that's why they need to be organic, though. Dr. Zach Bush, he talks about how if you eat non-organic vegetables, it's like it's like using the an alphabet with missing letters. Like you can't, there's gaps, there's a lack of communication there that's happening. You're not getting, they're called misfolded proteins that these amino acids from vegetables are making if they're non-organic. So it's good to get food grown in regenerative soil. I always have organic food, and I always have organic superfoods as well that I know 100% has been grown in regenerative soil. And so I do use Purium superfoods. Um, but whatever superfoods you help supplement your diet, which I do recommend doing because it just helps knowing that you're getting. Dr. Zach Bush says there's less than 1% of nutrient density in our soil. So you're just getting something that has this nutrient density in it that we need. That's how we heal. Most health issues actually start from mineral deficiencies. It could be emotional too, and it could be toxicities. All of those things kind of come into play, and we're creating mucus, and we're creating plaque, and we're creating acidosis. And with all the acids in there, then the body is trying to buffer the acids with either water, fat, cholesterol, or calcium. Most people, it's calcium, which is why osteoporosis is happening from acidic diets. The body's just trying to buffer the acids. So really just trying to get out um, acid acidic making foods that you eat that are leaving an acid ash behind them. Because fruits and vegetables, I was telling you this before, but there are no alkaline foods. There's only alkaline forming foods, and fruits and vegetables are acidic in number, but they leave an alkaline ash behind when you eat them. So they actually are alkaline forming to our body. So we want to bring in as much raw fruits and vegetables as possible. They heal the body. Um, there are certain cases where they're hard to digest if someone's really flared up. I'd be happy to work with anyone who is flared up and is just like, I can't eat raw fruits and vegetables right now. Then you take it down a notch. You eat some steamed vegetables. You do some lightly steamed vegetables. Ideally, no grains because they're still hard to digest. And our body actually has to send out cortisol, which is our stress hormone, to help the body digest grains and beans. And so, again, not a cleansing food. Um, eating greens, sprouts, and microgreens daily, leading up as much as possible. Eating, if you want to take it to the most ultimate thing, this is how I do with my clients. I always start everyone off on eating fruit until noon, and then two plant-based meals in the evening or in the for lunch and for dinner. And if you're still eating cooked foods, then maybe you make one of those meals raw and you do a plant-based cooked dinner. And then second week, you do a full, I gave the whole, how you transition in 6 weeks. So I'm not going to go into all that, but there's lots of ways to do it. This is your journey again. I'm just here to support you. None of us are doing it the same way. There's not ever any judgment. This is a total just love container being held, and just sharing and empowering information and education, and then you can try it on. None of us do it perfectly the first time. I mean, the first time I did my first several cleanses, I did it wrong, and I was like, I did it bad and I messed up, and I had this story that it was terrible, and then finally I'm like, it was what it was. I'm sure I got something out of it. I don't have to say it was bad or wrong. Every time I did it, I got better at it. I actually did the Purium Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation, I want to say probably about 15 times over the last 8 years, because it's just a program it's a nutrition program that really helps straighten things out. It's the cleanest food on the planet, and you can really just cover all the bases knowing you have all the nutrition that you need. And then you can have that peace of mind, and that, and ultimately, no matter what else you do, you've got this foundation. And so, even beyond that, you have the foundation. A lot of times, I did, myself included, I would stay on the maintenance program because the foods are foundational. The aminos, the green shake, the tart cherry juice, the the gut support, and something that just kind of helps keep pathogens at bay. But it's not really strong. I saw over time that it wasn't like a true detox. I call it a nutrition program now. And all of a sudden in school over the past 3 years, I've been studying really deeply how to clean the terrain, how to defungal and deworm, because my teacher and her teacher, Dr. Robert Morse, and her Dr. Carrie Lynn Drinkwine, they have hundreds of clients, and they're helping, reverse cancer in 56 days on red grapes and herbs. And so that got my attention. I'm like, even if it's just a short period of time, this is how you heal. And ideally, though, I don't want to just be like, that's why I say this is for the committed only, because I don't want someone who just wants doesn't want to change anything in their diet, and they just want to clean things up for, 40 days and then go back to all the bad habits, and then next year come back and see me and they're back where they started. And I don't want to do that anymore. And so I want to help people keep their changes and get healthier and healthier, and hold some of those changes as long term. You'll see very clearly what works for you and what doesn't, and what changes you're supposed to keep. This is, you being empowered in this process is everything to me. I don't want you to need me. I want to just give you this toolbox, and maybe I make you the packet, but you don't. And we'll always do the group, because I think doing it in a group is really fun, and detoxing can be kind of scary. Every time it's different, and you never know what's going to happen, and what the symptoms that you're going to have, or the results, because it all depends on where you're at and how clean you're doing it. If you're going full on, you could have a healing crisis that is actually the thing that gets you to the next level. But, maybe someone needed to talk you down and be like, you're good. This is supposed to happen, not let's stop all detoxing, and you know what I mean? So just to have that support system, so that we can figure out and be reminded of all the ways that we can ease the detox symptoms, like taking a bath, or drinking some more water, or getting some electrolytes in, or getting some minerals, or getting or doing some emotional clearings, or eating some really watery fruits. I mean, ideally, we need to be eating our hydration. It's structured and it's absorbable. And that way, we're not going to just pee it out. And so, basically, just taking out the foods that don't support you and adding in the foods that do and the thoughts that do, setting the stage for this program. Setting the stage for this program. I do know that not everybody who's going to be watching the replay or may even be here today that is really signed up for the whole 40 days. Some people are doing just phase 1, some people are doing phase 2, and some people are doing both. They do ideally go together, and I want to give a disclaimer. This has been like a new creation for me to put it all together into a program where I'm making phase 1 myself. Phase 2 I'm getting from a company that I've been turned on to by my teacher that was better than anything I've ever used in the last 20 years of helping people try to combat parasites. And so again, I've been trying them out with clients and with my family members and myself for the past few years, and then putting it together with the mucoid plaque detox was just a total game changer. So as of a couple weeks ago, I started. I I I do sell them separately because not everyone can afford them together, and you could always wait. I mean, again, it's your journey, and you don't have to do them together, but to make the most of it, getting that mucoid plaque out and then killing parasites before the plaque builds back up just makes the most of the time and the commitment. Doing it together in that window, you're really able to get parasites gone all the way. For those that are doing just the parasite program, I did throw in a little bit of mucoid plaque helper, remover helper, so that you do have that piece. And you can let me know if you want to get that other piece, because again, nobody's really starting right away. Um, I'm in a town where I can't get organic food, and so I'm probably not gonna start tomorrow like I was going to, because I have to go through some steps to get my self loaded up with the organic food. I still have like about a week and a half before Azure drops off I think I'm getting like 160 pounds of fruit to do. Three of us are going to do the juicing. And because I can't get it after, I have to just get it all in the beginning and then do the 5 days and then do the 3 days of juicing at the end and then jump into the parasite cleanse. So so anyone, please reach out to me if this has been confusing or if you want to talk about specific circumstances. I would be happy to navigate with you a little bit altered plan. I am the queen of tweaking things because I can muscle test and find out, ask your body exactly what to tweak. You can also reach out during any time and we can tweak something or we can clear anything emotional that's come up. And I do offer sessions for $100. Normally they're 150 um, during this program to do like an emotional clearing session or to do like if you're just like, I mean, when we're healing, things come up. All the shit bubbles up. Like it does. It just does. You're clearing the way of like possible traumas, emotions, anything you shoved away that you didn't deal with. Like if you're that kind of person and you shove it all away to save for later, some things may come up. It's normal. It's probably going to be short-lived. But reach out. That's what the group is for. Reach out. I've got lots of ideas, or we could do a session. I even do mini sessions. If it's just like emotions and a half hour, we could just do that for $50 to help just like see what else is needing to be addressed that's not obvious. So staying hydrated is huge. So ideally, the first 2 days you're juicing, and anytime you juice, to get enough nutrition, we really need to be doing, at least a gallon. Ideally, more like a gallon and a quart to a gallon and a half, depending on your size. But even if you're little, we're pretty little in our house and we try for that much, that gallon and a half when we are juicing for the day. And, you make a combination, 3 quarts of the lemon ginger boost, because it's the most astringent and alkalizing. And so the ginger just really helps with digestion. It helps with nausea. It helps just like dislodge that mucoid plaque from the walls of the colon. Um, the lemon does that as well. They're the degreasers, the cleaners. And then the greens, the citrus, I gave recipes, and any of those for the other 3 quarts. I like to do greens and then I like to do a ginger boost. And every once in a while, well, I do, I switch off. I switch off. When you're doing it this way, you just kind of see what resonates. If you mix it up a little bit, you can see what you like. If you don't have a juicer, blend it and strain it. Or, I mean, it's not that hard to blend and strain. Um, you could get like a nut milk bag, or those like metal strainers are the easiest to work with because you can get them with pretty big holes. You can get a good size. You could put it over a bowl and do like a good amount at a time because sometimes straining stuff is tedious. I don't recommend doing that with like almond milk or anything. Takes forever. But you'll want to juice um, apple juice as well for when you're ready to actually start, doing with the packet. So you can, if you can't get a lot of apples, you can buy the unfiltered raw organic apple juice that's in the gallon jug in all the health food stores. It's been around forever. It's unfiltered, so it's got like a layer of sediment and it's almost brown looking. And that stuff will absolutely work. In fact, I like getting those anyway to just have on hand because sometimes you're not exactly sure how much how many apples you're gonna go through if you're juicing it yourself. It depends on the size. And sometimes this time of year, they're a little more dry and not as juicy, and you don't get as much from them. And so you'll have to just kind of um, you can just figure out how that's going for you. But getting a juicer is wonderful. I love juicing so much. Once you're in the habit of juicing, you'll never not want to juice. We juice every single day, and we juice for a full day once a week. And it's great to give your organs a break, and it's great to just flood your system with nutrition. And so over those 5 days, after you've done that first 2 days of juicing, you'll be doing 4 packets of the fiber blend. If you've got the parasite kit and you've got the little bit of extra, you just have 2 packets a day. It's still enough to move things. It's got psyllium. It's got all these things, activated charcoal, bentonite clay, whole psyllium husk powder, black chia seeds, and ginger powder and apple pectin, and then oxy powder capsules, enzyme capsules, and activated coconut charcoal capsules that you will take in addition. And here's the schedule. 7 a.m. you drink the packet with apple juice. Now it does thicken, so drink it fast. But with the apple juice, it's delicious. Like it doesn't taste bad. In fact, it'll start to get too sweet, and soon you'll want to do half water, half apple juice, probably.
Can we backtrack for a second, Jessica?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so on the 1.5 gallons of juice, how many pounds of vegetables and fruit do you need to create that? Or are you talking one and a half, you juice 1.5 gallons or whatever weight wise of veggies and fruits?
Yeah, I was just saying that I don't have exact measurements because different fruits yield different amounts of
Mhm.
water. And so this time of year, like apples in particular, sometimes could be like if you're getting them in bulk, sometimes could be a little less juicy. And so I'm not exactly sure. For one person, um, let's see, we go through, what do we go through? We get about 40 pounds of fruit. We have about 80 pounds of fruit, and we go through that, two of us go through that. Yeah, I'm not
Okay,
really
so
sure.
40 pounds would create about 1.5 gallons worth of liquid,
I
whatever, vegetable or fruit
probably,
juice.
I think
Is
so.
that
I
what
think
you're
that's
saying? Oh my
probably
God.
about right.
Okay.
Because we do, let's see, we get 40 pounds and we'll make juice. Let's see. It's hard to say.
Okay.
It's hard to say. That's the part I don't have nailed down. I'm sorry. What I've been doing is I'll get like those big natural grocers bags because they're sturdy. And I've been taking them to the fruit section and filling them with apples, filling them with oranges, trying to supplement because normally I buy from Azure or I buy from the co-op that comes to TRC twice a month that I can order by the case and get a better price. But you can still get them like $2 a pound and fill a bag up and get, get a good amount of something. For that, yeah, I can't guarantee that you won't have any left over, but this time of the year, they'll keep pretty good. And after 5 days, you'll just be able to use that for the end juicing.
Okay.
So I am sorry that I don't have
Yeah.
perfect
I just
formula
was trying
for
to imagine how much room I need to have in my refrigerator and how much to buy and et cetera, et cetera.
it's a tricky
Okay.
piece. It's a
Yeah.
tricky piece. We
Okay.
struggle. We run out all the time. We like load our fridge and then we run out. We have literally just bought a second fridge for all our juicing stuff because it's ridiculous.
Okay. All right. Okay.
There's
Thanks.
three adults in my family. So yeah. So then, ideally we want to be drinking because there's psyllium. It grows to 40 times its size. And so it makes us not hungry. So you won't be hungry. You won't be like thinking about food, but you do need to drink water. So I have a reminder to drink at least a cup of water an hour later, but I would drink more than that. I would just kind of just be sipping on water all day long because it will help the process. You don't want the psyllium to get big and then not have enough moisture to get out. There have been cases where it could block you, and it is important to drink water. And I don't say this to scare you because there have been times that I definitely didn't drink enough water when I did psyllium and I was fine and it didn't block me. But you do want to regularly be sipping on water so that you can just stay hydrated and saturate the tissues and possibly even do a pinch of salt under your tongue in the morning so you're absorbing the water that you're drinking to saturate your tissues. The more we hydrate, the more we can eliminate. The more dehydrated we are, the more we accumulate in our tissues. And so you're just basically alternating the packet with water, packet with water, packet with water. Then you take some enzymes to just kind of help eat the old waste, like little Pac-Man. And then another packet with, and then water. an hour later, and then some activated coconut charcoal as a binder to help pull out anything that's, starting to get knocked loose, and then some oxy powder to keep the bowels moving because you want to always be detoxing through bowel movements when you are going through a program like this. Any questions on phase one?
So we're not eating, I mean, I know this is kind of a silly question, but we're not eating anything except for what's listed here for 5 days.
So you could eat some things. This is sort of like, and I probably should put that on there. This is sort of like if you want to, do it to the ultimate,
Mhm.
way. But you can absolutely have like some mineral. You could have some Irish sea moss, which is 102 minerals. You could have Zevo Life, which is 109 minerals. You could have ionic elements, which is minerals. You could have like a trace minerals research, which is minerals. If you wanted to have some kind of food, you could have some broth. I would keep it as clean as possible. I would probably keep it as raw as possible, other than maybe some broth, because broth gives you a good dose of minerals as well, I believe, a good vegetable broth. Um, yeah, if you wanted to do some juices, some fresh juices in there, if you had to do some work and you were just feeling run down, you're gonna be feeling full with these packets pretty quick. So you're not going to be like hungry thinking about food. But if you are busy, these 5 days, you might be having some bowel movements though. So I would, try to take off that time as much as possible. At least be by a toilet if you can, and maybe not have um, certain types of sessions, you know because everyone detoxes differently and you might be running to the bathroom just a little bit. It's not usually because of this recipe. I feel like it's calming to any kind of irritable bowel. So you're not like spasming. Most people aren't spasming so much unless they're like at the brink of a release. And you should feel when that's coming on. Most likely. Again, everyone's different. It depends on how clean you are now and how clean you are, between now and leading up and to when you do it. If you drink coffee, you'll have the more detox symptoms. Um, but yeah, if you need to eat, ideally something liquid so that you're not activating digestion and that things are just focusing on breaking that mucoid wall off without adding anything in. Because, once you're digesting things, you're kind of activating that whole system to do stuff instead of just work on dislodging. And so, please reach out if you'd like to do more than that and you want some ideas. An apple a day keeps the doctor away and also helps dislodge mucoid plaque. Like if you want a little something that's like got some substance, have an apple. Yeah.
I take probiotics. Do I stop taking those?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you do because as we're cleaning things up, if you take it, you don't make it. So I actually only during detox recommend a little bit of enzymes. And then I get all of my clients off of probiotics and enzymes because I want their body making it. I want the
Mm,
body making hydrochloric acid so that it can fight off parasites naturally. I want, the firing of digestion to happen. I want leaky gut to heal. I want all these things to happen. And then, and
okay.
then the one thing that I do have people bring in is Dr. Zach Bush's Ion Gut Support. It's made from 60,000-year-old soil water. So it literally protects you from thousands of strains in nature, whereas most probiotics will protect you from the 3 to 4 strains that are in the probiotic, which my teacher calls monocropping. And just don't take that away. My teacher says it really starts to cause a problem. Don't take that away. She's taking my food away. Um, yeah. So you don't want to take probiotics really. But get some ion gut support. Dr. Zach Bush gets it. He talks about the microbiome of the earth. He is my hero. Like I love him so much and his products, they really, really, really help. I will never use another probiotic again. And I don't consider what he has a probiotic. It is just the full spectrum gut support, and it is incredible. So I hope that answered that question. I always have the long-winded
And,
version.
and that what you were talking about, the ion gut support would be to bring in like afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. All right. So then phase two, the removing parasites. So we're also going to be removing fungus and mold and mycotoxins and microbes and pathogens and heavy metals and microplastics and antigens and all other infectious material. Woohoo! We live in a toxic world, friends. Like we can't avoid it even when we try. I mean, of course, trying, you gotta try because we can avoid a lot of it, but we can't avoid it all. Hence, we do the cleanup, right? Let's do a cleanup before we're sick, before we have to like reverse a health issue. So that's my goal here too. Phase two, it's a 40-day program. You'll be doing, so really the whole thing is a 50-day program. I miscounted when I first said it was a 40-day program because the first 10 days and then the parasite cleanse. But the parasite cleanse, you're eating, pretty much whatever you want to eat in the cleaned up version, ideally. And then you're just cycling the parasite herbs over that 40 days into 10 on, 5 off, 10 on, 5 off, 10 on. So for that to kill the eggs and babies, and then that one last time is to just make sure you've gotten everything lingering. You will eat food, you can eat what you want. I share a bunch of recipes. Of course, you don't have to stick to them. I'm just trying to give ideas and inspiration. Meat, dairy, and eggs do attract parasites. Our body can't break them down very well. So it's just what nature does. It attracts parasites from the parasite kingdom into our body. And also, though, we do find some meat, dairy, and eggs have pathogens within them and parasites within them. So ideally avoiding these foods while detoxing, and even beans, legumes, and grains because they're harder to digest should be limited during detox as well. And you start to see that fruits and veggies of all kinds aren't boring and that there's so many choices and so many beautiful ways to make them. And that when you start to heal and you start to feel better, that alone is inspiration to keep going and to just, stay committed. We have the rest of our lives to eat whatever we want, and ideally we don't, but that we continue to clean things up because you feel a difference. When you feel a difference, you're like, then when you go back to the other foods, you're like, okay, I feel worse. Like you can deny it, of course, but somewhere deep inside knows, and it's like planting some new seeds. It's breaking apart something else, and then you're going to start to notice that more and more. That when you go back to these foods, you don't feel as good. You start to feel, inflamed or mucus or clogged, or maybe it's affecting your bowels or hydration. And so the schedule, ideally you've cut those foods out, you've kind of set yourself up with a whole bunch of fruits and vegetables, and again, reach out if you need more ideas or you're struggling or whatever. I really want you to feel like I'm here for you and this container is here for you, and to help bridge that gap of what we do now and what we need to do during and what we could possibly be doing afterwards for the long term that helps us keep some upgrades. So we'll take para 1 and para 2 at wake up, and then you take the biotoxin binder and the para 3 3 times a day with food. And it's pretty easy. It's pretty simple. And so it's pretty straightforward. This part of it is a little more straightforward. You're kind of getting back into the flow of living your life and eating meals and learning what you love as you try new things and maybe let some things go for a while and just see, what lands and what feels good and what makes you feel good and what works for you. This food, like it starts to put a smile on your face because you feel good while eating it. There's so many aha moments once you start to clean the terrain and you're like, yeah, I kind of knew that was bothering me, but now I can't ignore it. Now that I've cleaned things up enough, I'm really feeling it when I eat that. Like you can't ignore it. So, journal. I invite you to journal whatever comes up. Emotional stuff will come up. Find a beautiful journal because this is going to be a transformation. No matter what. It's going to be a transformation, no matter what happens, no matter how perfect or not perfect you do it. It's all perfect. I promise. So don't judge yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Don't be mad at yourself. Don't be like, I'm gonna have to quit. I totally fell off the wagon. No, just hop right back on. This is 50 days. And then ideally long-term lifestyle shifts, maybe some of it will be. So that's the goods. What do you think? I'm going to stop the
It
share.
feels like phase two is easier than the 10 days leading up to it. That's going to be the challenge, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also, what are we to expect in terms of the elimination portion of the parasites? I mean, it's obviously through the stool, right? I mean,
Yes.
are there going to be like wiggling things in there? Is that part of it, or?
Very possibly could be wiggling things. They could be looking like little grains of rice. A
Mhm.
lot of people, so the Cellcore products, what they do is they kill the parasites. So when they come out of you, they're going to be dead. And what
Okay.
most people report seeing is like the typical holding up two chopsticks with like this long stringy thing. And it's just like a worm, a dead worm, basically. And
Mhm.
it could be like 2 feet long. There's a lot of that, a
Oh.
lot of stringy things that you'll see probably. Yeah.
So you're better off just flushing it down the toilet and not worrying about it.
Yeah, I mean, some people want to take pictures and share. I totally
No,
don't mind seeing pictures.
I guess that means you had a successful experience.
Right, right. I've definitely seen
Yeah.
other people's mucoid plaque before. Or like people going like, is this mucoid plaque?
Mhm.
I can like it wiggles, it's like hard, it's just interesting, the poop talk. I was a colon
Yeah.
hydrotherapist for like 20 years, so poop talk is just part of my life.
So in your experience, if you do this, then if you do it again, do you do it once a year type of thing?
Well, I do think you should, so then it doesn't build back up,
Okay.
once, maybe even
So then
twice
the
a
second
year.
time, it's not going to be as intense, right? I mean,
No,
it should
no,
be, you should have a
hardly.
much more comfortable experience, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jessica, even when this is over, will we still have access to your amazing guide?
Yes.
Okay, so the link will always, I can go back to it
Yep.
and okay,
Yep.
okay.
And
And then
if it ever doesn't work, let me know because it won't be intentional.
okay.
Yeah.
And then do you suggest an amino acid supplement that we should have on hand
I
during this?
I mean, probably not during, although you could.
Oh,
I
okay.
probably will take one if I needed any kind of pick me up throughout mine. That's what I great question because that's actually what I would my first go to is these MAP aminos. And it's like I was telling you, it's the same exact amino acids that Purium makes for a third of the price. Or maybe that was
Okay.
my last two people I was talking to today that I told that to.
Do you
Um,
get it to Amazon?
no, I go straight to the website. It's
Okay.
called um, master amino acid pattern.com.
Mm,
And they don't have any kind of affiliate. Uh, and and it's a third of the price is Purium. Is a bottle of 120 is $23 if you buy them in 3 packs. And
okay.
through Purium, they're $56. And that's if you buy monthly. Otherwise, they're 62, I think, if you just buy randomly. So that was a game changer because I'm raw vegan. So I do 2 to 3 rounds of 5 of these every day. One serving is 5 tablets, and it's equivalent to a 6 ounce piece of steak. Yet our body can utilize 99.9% of it, net nitrogen utilization of these, whereas with a steak, we'd probably get 10 to 20% of amino acids that we could actually utilize from that. And the rest becomes catabolic waste for our liver and our kidneys to deal with and try to excrete. Hence the mucoid plaque, all that stuff that the liver and the kidneys can't get out, it hardens in there, you know. And so it's the best way
So,
to get protein. This is protein right here and vitamin and vegetables.
so when you're not detoxing, you're taking 5 of those tablets 2 to 3 times a day.
Yes.
Is that was correct? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And then during the detox, if I feel like I need like a protein, I could do that.
Yes. Yeah, that would be the best thing.
And then
I'm going to remember to tell people about this and and maybe I'll even add this into the program because I think it's a really great piece to kind of fill in the gaps if someone's like, "Oh my gosh, I want to do this to the nth degree, but I'm hungry," or I need a little bit more of something. And
okay.
juicing is kind of a big deal. Not everyone has a juicer. I don't want it to be stressful for anyone. Because they just get absorbed and they don't get digested into the digestive system, they don't activate digestion, and you can just still stay focused on the mucoid plaque instead of trying to break down the new food. You're breaking down the old food, and you can stay
Mm.
focused with that, with bringing in, being able to fill in those nutritional gaps.
And then if we come to you with a question that is just too big, you'll let us know if like a session is actually needed, right? Because I
Yeah.
never want to overstep. Like, okay, but we can bring the questions.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and it's not like there's really too big of a question unless you're just like really just need a bunch of support and know that something's wrong and you want to just kind of delve in and see like what's wrong, what do we need to clear, put a little program together. Because I'm ready for questions. Like I expect there to be questions, and that's mostly not going to be a problem unless I tell my clients if there's more than 5 questions, make an appointment. So yeah, I want to be here for you long term. So we'll keep the group going and we'll add new people and you can check back in anytime and do it again, in 6 months or in a year, or if some kind of health issue comes up, it's the fastest way to target it and clean things up and get right on top of it to reverse it.
Jessica, two questions. One, I've been told not to juice before because it's like drinking sugar. That you're taking all the fiber out and just getting sugar, I guess. But and then my other question is how do you know that the parasites aren't gonna escape into the bloodstream and, go other places?
That's okay. So the first question is, um, fructose is the sugar from fruit, and glucose is the sugar from vegetables, and our body knows how to deal with those sugars the most. We create instant energy. So that's a misconception, actually. It doesn't leave too much sugar in our body so that it's like in our bloodstream or it's like spiking our blood sugar any more than just pushing the fatty foods that we're eating. That spikes our blood sugar for the long term. That's just like it's just starting the detox process. It floods the body with nutrition. Our body, it gives us energy because we're turning that fructose or glucose into instant energy. And it's also giving our organs a rest, which is the ultimate preparation for a detox. Is you want to stop detox, you want to stop digesting so that they can start to rest. But nutrition's not gone yet. So you have these sacred 2 days beforehand where everything is resting, but you're still getting like an IV of nutrition. And yeah, the sugar's not a problem. That's a total misconception because our body knows how to deal with that sugar and it's just instant energy for us. And that's what's going to keep you standing that day. So many people are like, I can't eat fruit. It makes me dizzy. It makes me this. I'm too hungry. Well, the people who actually try it and eat enough of it end up being able to transition very fast and do it really well because it's usually just not enough nutrition. People aren't eating enough of it. And so if someone's juicing, a lot of times they're not juicing enough to get the nutrition that they need. And so that's why I really emphasize getting at least a gallon in for those, each day, more than a gallon. And it's just going to go to work, you know, degreasing you and giving you like an IV of nutrition while you're letting everything start to rest and prepare for, you know, being more relaxed to let it all out. So nothing to be scared of there. You may have a little bit of detox. It depends on your level of toxicity. You may feel um, like some people feel like they need to juice all greens because the fruits make them too dizzy or too lightheaded. It's too much cleansing at first. And so that's why I say to split it up and to do, the two different ones because the lemon ginger boost, it's got the degreasing effect with the citrus, but it's also got that ginger, so it's just really starting to work on that digestion. And then you can bring in some more fruits or bring in some more greens. You'll find what you like pretty quick. And it's just 2 days in the beginning. And in the end, you could do 2 days if you're like, I can't do that third day. It'll be fine.
Okay, and the question about parasites, how do you know they're not gonna end up elsewhere?
Okay, so that's why we're doing this particular program is because each remedy hits different parasites. Some hit the brain, some hit the blood, some hit the gut, some hit the organs. So we're going to be doing, para one and para two and para three in a binder, and they all hit different things. And I'll post. Um, I've got this really great handout thing that I took a picture of that I can post in the group that shows all the different parasites that para 1 gets. And then these are the parasites that para 2 gets. So yeah, that's why we do it in cycles of 3 so that we make sure there's nothing left and that they're getting everywhere. So, yep, that's how we know.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, signing off.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're
Very
welcome.
informative, kind of scary.
Bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.